Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets webinar with Bruce. I'll be your host here, and we're going to go through order flow for any market that you want to look at that we can connect to, and how to use Bookmap, how to look for higher probability setups with order flow on your side. That's what we're here for, and to give an edge by understanding the order flow. Right, so we'll go through a process in here, identifying elements on the chart, looking for something that is higher probability, and looking for it to follow through. All right, so let's go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap Ltd materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All this material is copyrighted, so if there's any questions about that, and you want to reproduce it, then you will need to reach out to us. All right, so let's see here. Taking a look at the S&P E-mini and see what's going on here, get our kind of approach and understanding what's happening here. We had the 9:30 cash open right here, and you can see huge selling right into very high liquidity here. So we have very high liquidity on the way down, and it is getting filled on the way down here, and in these areas here, and also massively here, as you can see, which basically stopped the market for that brief moment there, and we see the bounce here. This kind of behavior here is extremely typical in trends. Okay, it happens to take place during the open. However, you see this all the time. You can see it here as well, right? Move into it. High liquidity is still here. They hit into it, and we're actually able to trade through it. Actually able to trade through this one here. It's a little lesser liquidity, but you can see the bounce here. This is very typical. In a trending market, you'll see it trade into high liquidity, typically a bounce, a little bit of a pullback, and then continuation. All right, so we'll look for that here in this environment right now. Now, what we want to understand, if this is going to continue to trend, then what are we looking for? All right, what are we looking for in the order flow here? I'm going to take the stops and icebergs off the chart here. For now, it's in the subchart. If you have questions about that, happy to answer anything though. All right, so the buyers and sellers context, this is what we want to understand within this kind of downtrending market. How many buyers are in here? How many sellers? Now we're going to just talk about, we're going to take the heat map off now. We're talking about just the aggressors in here. All right, so we're just talking about these volume dots in here. Okay, a red dot is a market sell, a green dot is a market buy. All right, so we're starting to understand context though. We're moving downwards in a trend here. Okay, let's just draw a trend line. Okay, here's one here, here's another one here, and we're just about to bump up into it. Okay, so we are clearly in a downtrend. Now, what is the condition of the transactions within that downtrend? This gives us insight to the participants in the behavior in here. Okay, look at the buyers coming streaming in right now, and we see, quite a few buyers, right? All right, so maybe they can reach up to here. Maybe they can reach up to here. 43.80 or the swing at 77.5, right? So because we know there's buying pressure, that is what we're looking at here. Okay, you might be looking at a footprint chart. You would see something similar, and volume trading, on the offer, hitting the or lifting the offer. All right, so we're up here at that level already. Okay, now how do we know that was going to unfold? Well, it's really, really simple. Look at the buying coming in, right? So it's starting to question and test and break this structure. And that's what we want to gain insight to. So once we start to see this, we're looking for it to test up here and see if this structure is going to hold. Now, if you want, for example, there's a scalping strategy right there for you. Okay. Now, what are we looking for this to turn into a bigger trend or a reversal? Okay, in the bigger picture here. Well, we're still in a downtrend. So you know, we're just testing the swing high here. We made a lower low here, and we see tons of selling in here. Okay, now we're starting to get tons of buying back in. Okay, but it is still in a downtrend. All right, so this would be like a counter trend scalp on the way up, and be very, very careful on these if you are scalping these. Now, this is not a trade recommendation webinar. We just don't do that in here. We're going to go over the condition of the order flow here to give you that insight. Okay, so now we're testing up to here, right? It's still a scalp, right? So you're not, you know, we were down here around, I think, 70, 75, 76, and looking for the swing, and then up to this area here. Now there's still momentum in this trade idea here. It's still going. Why is it still going? Just look at the amount of buying pressure in here. Okay, so now we're looking for exhaustion. We're looking for some sellers to start to come in, and maybe we'll have some back and forth up here, or maybe we'll just see sellers come in and immediately start, you know, hitting the bid hard. Okay, and test these buyers who basically in this small time frame took control of the market above here. All right, so in fact, we can get into the details of that. Many different setups in here. However, I just wanted to go through the bigger picture here of understanding the downtrend, and then when we see this start to unfold here, what we're looking for, where the market might test. Right, so that is the aggressors, the transactions, the volume that transacted in here. Red dot, market sell, green dot, market buy. Size of the dots gives you insight to how much traded. So the other element here, so we went over structure and we went over the transactions. Now let's add the heat map that we were looking at earlier. Massive transactions at 9:30. The market bounced. Came back down, and let's just look at this before this unfolded here, and it's still unfolding. This is still going here. We're still finding buyers, but before that, look at the volume dots, look at the structure, look at the liquidity in here, look at the volume in here, the transactions. Okay, so the condition here in this auction in here. Is there's more selling than buying. Okay, so we would still look for continuation in this. Right? Now we note when reversals take place, we always note this. Look at this high liquidity to transact on the way down. Okay, and we note it here. You know, we talked about it immediately here at the open. And then of the open of the market as well as the open of this webinar here. And then it went down lower into this high liquidity as well, and we got a bounce out of it. Now, this is where the bounce just took another shape here completely, right? And the buyers just came streaming in and moved this market exponentially higher. It's an exponential move, I should say. We're looking for maybe some exhaustion up in this structure here, or maybe some exhaustion to test up into here. You can see that it did pull back. You can see that it did pull back here as well. Okay, it just pulled back a little bit though. That's it. Okay, and we can look and target high liquidity here on the offer for these buyers to reach. Okay, so now we're starting to hit that high liquidity up here now. All right, so this has disrupted the whole thing we were looking at earlier. We're starting to understand the market structure and the volume within it, and then all of a sudden these buyers come streaming in. Okay, it's massive buying. Okay, look at the context here. This context is what it is all about. Okay, we have to be agile here as traders and understand the shift in the context. Look at all this selling, dominant, dominant, dominant. Now who's taking control of this market here? Okay, it's pretty clear, right? So now let's take a look at the context up here though. Now this has been a really strong move. Now it's trading into high liquidity up here. All right, so we're still looking for, well, how much more buying pressure do we have here? Okay, because like we're starting to trade into high liquidity here, and look how we're starting to make lower highs, or I'm sorry, not as strong highs as before. We're going to get a deeper pullback here. Okay, so it's already pulled back almost 100% of this move here. Okay, from this little breakout here. Okay, look at the pullback from here. Okay, so we're talking about these moves in here and the volume pressure and making a relationship in this context here. Okay, this is strong buy volume that is moving that market. Okay, this is extremely low volume pullback here. Again, followed by pretty strong volume. It really picks up in here. And then a mild pullback again, low volume pullback on the sell side. Can you see it in here? Look for this. And then we see the continuation in here. Strong buying, again, strong buying. Now look at it. Okay, what do we get here? Okay, so it's starting to kind of lose some of its strength here. Okay, look at how this period here is longer. Okay, maybe a little bit longer than this period here. Definitely longer than this period here. Okay, so how many more buyers do we have in here? This is what we want to understand in terms of context. Okay, do we want to buy at some of these little areas in here and looking for the buyers to still take this higher? Okay, well, yeah, they're still in control, but this is making me kind of nervous in here. I would not want to be a buyer when I'm starting to see that it's starting to lose some of its power here. Right? So in fact, I would be looking for the opposite here. I would be looking for sellers to start to come in here and then push it to some of these areas. And then maybe if we can get some big selling, maybe we can get a reversal. All right. So, and we're just watching and stalking this right now. Okay. So are there any questions in here? Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Stan. God, your guys' content is looking really good. Really good. Froth. Great stuff. I mean, this is it. Just go over this again and again and again. This is how you're going to build your strategies. Okay. So once you first identify these things and here, explosive volume, boom, right? Here's a move up now. Passive sellers re-entering here. Okay, higher liquidity coming down. Look at the selling coming in here. Look how they trade into this in here. Okay, initially here. Now they're on the offer up here as well. What do we get? Do we get buyers in here? No. Do we start to get sellers in here? Yep. And look at them take the market down and test other areas where that buying strength came back in. Okay, this is really good. And look at this, the spring setup in here. Slow down. You got some followers in your setup. Okay, we'll talk more about the spring in terms of well, there's multiple things to take a look at in a spring, okay, or in basically a false breakdown. Okay, because this is actually looking pretty good. Now, I mean, I think Froth identified this one pretty nicely here. This swing low here, high liquidity here, and this is pretty strong volume, and this is strong volume here. So I'm not really looking for those buyers to come in until I see it over here. This is just not enough for me at all. This is not even close for me, right? This just does not make me feel good whatsoever. I'm still looking for a retest here and then it to curl back over. and continue with the volume strength on the sell side. Okay, that didn't happen. It came back down. It came here. You see very, very little volume. This is a low volume pullback, in fact, up to here. And then the volume came in and it went back up to this swing up here. Then it failed really, really nicely here. Okay, so that's where you got the big move here. And he identifies it here, right here. Okay, so you see the move back up above here. He's looking at this kind of trap or stop run, and then where the sellers start to come in and take this market the opposite way, or not the opposite way, with the trend basically. Yeah, nice job, nice work. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the market here. Take a look. Slow down. Yeah, zip your mouth. Yeah. I mean, look, it really is. This is one of the things, like, we've talked about trap volume, exhaustion, absorption. These are the things to look at these edges here. Okay, so we know one of the greatest ways to get people to trade is to force them through fear. They're in a position, and and get them to cover their position by having them feel pain. This is how the market works. Is one of the elements in here for sure. There's just no doubt about it. Like in here, people that sold this in here looking for that, oh, I'm gonna get in really early. Well, here's their squeeze right here. Okay, or these buyers in here right now. We talked about it many times, that these buyers in here, like, oh, I'm gonna get the next leg up. Well, the sellers have something to say about that right now. Okay, and this in here is where you start to see the reversal start to unfold potentially. Okay, so it's a consolidation from trend to consolidation to either continuation or reversal. Okay, so it goes right into Wyckoff about markup period. This would be your distribution, and then this could be potentially mark down period. All right, so and then look at the sellers starting to come in now. Okay, so I'm looking for these sellers because of this little trap in here. I'd be looking at some pretty good selling in here. These sellers might turn into a trap as well, but that's pretty good, right? So I would look for them to try to trade down to here. All right, so and you can see that no, buyers have something to say about that right now. Okay, they're starting to come in, and these guys, this is a beautiful trap here. They're beautiful traps all over the place. Someone's going to lose, right? We want to be on the side of the winner. Okay, it looks like buyers, they've got it here if they want to squeeze these guys. So we just need a little bit of buying pressure in here, and then we can get the move back up into 38. I'm sorry, 89 and 90 here. Okay, let's see if we get a little bit of a little liquidity on the bid here. We're looking for our aggressors, and they should be able to squeeze these guys up into 89 and 90. Okay, so this would be kind of it's not really a strong move, but it's a move with some volume behind it, and then a bit of a pullback here, and now looking for another move up in here to squeeze these guys out of their trade. Okay, makes sense. Guys, we're going to be going through the anatomy of a flag pattern again and again, and this is one of them right here. Right now, it's not the greatest one, but it's not bad. And only for a small move here, only for a small move. Okay, so we're looking for the continuation here. Right, so here's our trap, here's the move, here's the pullback, and here's the continuation move. Right. Okay. Identifying these traps in here is really key. Okay, now slowdown probably took this as well, and he'd be looking for a spring in here. Right, so a nice move. Take some profit on that. Maybe you can get a runner out of it. But for me in this kind of environment in here, wow, they're really starting to pick up the buying. For me in here, like I'd probably get all out up in here. Now, I haven't even looked at the bigger picture yet, though. But I know that the market's starting to slow down in here. So it's starting to find some selling in here. All right, so for that reason, I'm just looking for the top of the range. Okay, all in, all out type of thing. But I give up this in here. Right now, my error on that would be I didn't look at the bigger picture yet. Okay, what about higher time frame levels? Okay, well, this one looks pretty good right here. So that would be a good take profit up here. Okay, right up here at 92 or 93, something like that. All right, and then let's take a look at our bigger picture even. Okay, so here's our daily on the left-hand side. And here's our hourly here in the middle, and here's our 15-minute on the right. Now, what do we have here? Interesting stuff. So this was the gap we were looking at yesterday here. We did not like this move in here, or at least I had a hard time looking for something really solid in here to give me a good feeling that this is going up. In fact, what we saw was the opposite. It looked pretty good up in here to pull back during the webinar. In here, though, it was just like we would see these. It looks great here on all time frames for the move higher in the candlestick chart, but the order flow is different. I was seeing like these big clusters at the highs, and then add that as a potential trap, and then we saw the move back down, and it just wasn't. It really didn't give us like clear. I thought a kind of a clear understanding that this is a really strong move in here. And then we look at it here, though, it looks great, right? Well, anyway, this is what has happened so far. We're looking for this potential gap fill. Well, we got it today. Okay? Well, the true gap would be filled down here. It's kind of bounced off the top of the range in here, okay, at the open. Now, we saw high liquidity in here, right? Very high liquidity in here getting filled. So that's now we have a context here in the bigger picture to take a look at. Okay, so if we do get this move in here, well, maybe we can get the gap fill here today. Okay, now it hasn't quite come up here to this area here around 97, okay, or 99. The gap fill would truly be up here at 05, 44.05. Okay, so starting to see a bit of a pullback right now. And this pullback makes sense due to the overnight range right here. Right, so we still have to get through that overnight range here on some power, some buying power in here. All right, so anyway, different ways to kind of look at this continuation pattern. And I'm calling it a flag pattern, but it's a continuation pattern, right? And it's right in here. And we had our reasons behind it. Okay, when we start to look at some of these patterns in here with different players on our side, this is going to skew the probabilities in our favor, and that's exactly what we're looking for. All right. Good morning, Gosser. Yeah, we can take a look at Nvidia. Alois, you might want to reach out to slow down, but Wyckoff has been around for a long time, and he's got an interesting story too. Like he really just hated to see retail investors just getting clobbered. So he came out with this markup, markdown, accumulation, distribution to help people. Good nature. Out of his good nature. So, a lot of people have embraced it over the years, and it's great stuff. So and you can apply it to any type of trading. There's, oh God, there's books out there on using Wyckoff with volume profile. I don't know. I think it's just maybe to sell books, but like, you can use the same principles though. Okay, because what he was identifying was structure in the market and why it exists. Okay, and it is true. Like it's just it's an auction process in here. So within an auction, in a consolidation, something shifts and changes, and it dramatically breaks here. So for example, the break happened here, right, to the upside, and now it's retested back to where it broke. So are we going to get buyers again? Are the buyers going to support it here? Okay, well, there's a bit of support here in the heat map. Again, this is what Bookmap is really good at, is showing that liquidity in here. Okay, so and do we have even a potential here for trap sellers in here? Maybe a little bit. Maybe we can shoot up to about 90. Okay, but it's not a whole lot in here. Okay, so maybe we have to kind of go back and forth in here and trap more traders in here to finally get some sort of move or breakout from that area. Okay, and that is exactly what accumulation and distribution is all about. It's a big part of it. And the spring part as well is basically the, well, a couple of ways of looking at it. It could be absorption, it could be exhaustion, or it could be trap volume. It could be all of those things. Well, it couldn't be if it retests and there's exhaustion on it, yeah, it could be as well, right? That would be like a double bottom pattern. And here it is right here. Okay, so actually looking for, see how like we have sellers here, buyers back up here, not too much selling here. Okay, so now we're looking, when we see buyers start to come in. Okay, so what we're looking for now, if this is going to hold true, then we need to see buyers up here, and we're starting to see some, and now we're going to get a retest back up here, it looks like. And let's see if we can get more buyers up here around 88.50. Okay, maybe 88 3/4. Then I would look for the move up into 90 and maybe higher. Right now, that said, let's just take a look at this accumulation or distribution in here. Look at, there's quite a bit of buying in here. Selling's over here. Okay, buying's over here. Okay, so what we're looking for is who's going to get this wrong in here, and then how is the order flow supporting that? This idea is to look for the winner. Okay, so maybe it's all of this buying in here. Yeah, well, they're rattling in their boots, or shaking in their boots right now, looking for the sellers here to see if they can now get all these guys to turn upside down and cover. We would look for a stop run to the downside, actually, if we get enough selling here to move that market. Okay, so let's see if we get it here. We're looking for either buyers up here or sellers down here. Okay, and we're looking for the order book to support that idea as well. Okay, we're getting our buyers up here. There they go. Let's see it. Do we get the order book supporting it? Not really. Not really. So see that it's kind of lighter blue here. So there's more liquidity on the offer up here and nothing on the bid. So it's the opposite. It's not really what we're looking for at all. Okay, now we have more liquidity up here. Okay, and they're starting to pull down here. Okay, so this is starting to open the door now. Actually, let's see if we can get back down here. Let's see if we get a big red dot here, maybe 87.50. There we go. All right, sellers, you've got it here if you want to try to pull this market down. And they're not. No, the opposite. So the order flow kind of shifted in here. Right, as soon as I said that, these guys started to come in. Look at the book now. Okay, now they're still up here on the offer, so maybe we won't get the breakout we're looking for, right? Okay, so we're back down here now. Let's see if those sellers, let's see what happens with these guys here. Okay, do they pull? Do we get our sellers again here? Yeah, look at this liquidity here. This is what I love, because now we're going to learn a lot. All right, we got sellers reaction to that liquidity. So I still see the book though underneath here. I want to see these guys pull. There we go. All right, so sellers, you got it. You totally got it after this move to the upside as well. Here's that high liquidity again. Just need the sellers to hit the bid and move it down to 85 and 84. Okay, we got a shift again in the order flow here. This is kind of a difficult read in here. See how these guys pulled? Okay, and look at this liquidity that came in here now at 86. Right, so if I was in this trade in here, I would be out. Okay, I would take a small loss on that. In fact, I'd be looking forward to see if this is the trap here at this point, and see if we can get our buyers in here and then move back up to our original idea, which was 90 and above. Right, so yeah, we have a total flip in here, and in fact, it's these guys here that are on the hook, and I was in that. so you can see the buyers did come in here, okay, but I'm looking for a little bit higher, and this buyers, and then they do come in, and then the flip, and then now our 90, and look at 92 as well, starting to pull. So looking good for a continuation up to 92. All right, so bit tricky in here, some back and forth in here, and now we're getting our follow through to the upside. All right, so what we had though, and what was kind of tricky for us, we identified in real time, okay, was this liquidity, sellers, they're starting to pull in here. They were, you can see it here, how it's getting darker in here, a little darker. So I'm just looking for them to hammer on it into 85 and 84. Okay, and that didn't happen. These guys pulled, and in fact, it's this guy here. This was his game. He gamed it in here. It is one individual actor. Okay, had high liquidity here, pulled it, added it down here, and I would say it's the same guy because he pulled it and added it here at the same time. And then on the offer, he pulled it completely from the offer and added it on the bid down here at 86. Okay, so once we can start to identify like this individual actor's activity, okay, then this idea in here, which was looking pretty good, is a trap, right? And that's where you have to shift. It's like I was looking for the breakdown, right? And then it has to be a shift. It's like, okay, I got it wrong, I get out, and then look to go the other way once we start to see it's being supported that way, because we know that this is a trap in here now. Okay, some pretty tricky stuff in here, but this is why, exactly why we want to identify this kind of order flow phenomena in here. This is what gives us insight to this move higher, right? So we're looking for 90, 92, and it's turned into a much bigger move here. I know we're going to get an image from Slowdown on this one. Good stuff. That's his spring right there. This is a spring as well. It just didn't follow through. Potential. Now you really got something there. I love it. I love the process you went through. Slowdown. You really got something. And the funny thing is like you said, this has been around for like, I don't know, 100 years, something like that. So guys, you don't have to, I mean, this is what helps us here in Bookmap, is understanding this context in here. And I got duped. I got duped by it in here. I saw that high liquidity. Okay, they're pressing, starting to pull in here. Some of it stayed in here, but I'm looking for those sellers to hit the bid and get all of these guys and all of these other guys here that are buying to get them stopped out. Okay, so instead we don't see, we got a little bit of a stop run here, very, very little. Look where the stop run took place though. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So instead, take the small loss, get in on the other side. Okay, just make sure that you have these elements on your side. It's hard to do. Once you start to identify that though, these elements in here, it's much easier. And you're looking for the opposite in here. Okay, and look at the stop run here. Okay, so all of this is the fuel in here. Okay? Most of the selling took place in here. All right, so it turned into a beautiful move here. Okay, and we got a total trend reversal and continuation now. Okay, we're up to well, we just filled the gap, so let's just take a look at our bigger picture here. We filled this gap here. We haven't filled the real gap at 05 here. Okay, but we have kind of filled this one. Why am I showing it at 02 up here? It's clearly 05 here. It's on the hourly, and this is on the 15-minute. Well, anyway, here's the figure. Here's 02. Here's 05. Nvidia. Okay. Well, let's take a look again. All right. So now, really nice move out of that area. Okay. Higher highs, continuation, lots of volume behind it, and we're still looking for a continuation. All right, but note again what's happening up in these areas up in here. Okay, we're not getting the volume that we're looking for, so we start to look for pullbacks. Okay, so here again is a potential move for it up into 98 or 99 here. See, now the question is, like, in this area in here, is this enough in here, or are we seeing enough also in the order flow to support that? Okay, so maybe we need to rotate back down into the lows here. Here we go. Okay, maybe get down below here. There we go. Okay, and then we need to see like how these guys now, do they take control of this market, or are they the fuel for the next move higher? And that's a lot of selling in here, and that's a larger player dumping in here. Again, some really good gaming in here that we can identify. Look at that high liquidity on the offer, and then the sale, then the sell off. Okay, the target would be here to begin with at 95. All right, so this is the kind of insight that we're using with the heat map. Okay, so let's see what happens here at 94.25. Right, our double bottom pattern. Anyway, kind of looking for a little more back and forth in here before the next move to unfold. So let's take a look at Nvidia here since we have it up. All right. So Nvidia sold off pretty hard here, it looks like. Quite hard. High liquidity all the way down in pre-market. Here's 9:30 cash open. And yet again, like high liquidity all the way down here. Okay, and then look at look at the shift in here. Here's the shift. Okay, so see how with the swing here, high liquidity, and buyers, they trade through it. Okay, so buyers have now taken control of the market from this point on. And we're looking for a retest back up into the swing high here, okay, at 42, 442. 440 is already transacted. There's still more liquidity there, but let's see if we can get some more buyers in here and try to reach up to 442. Look again at these critical areas in here, okay, and then liquidity. Okay, high liquidity comes in at a higher level now, at 430. Okay, also here. Okay, so now we have been going back and forth within this consolidated area between areas of high liquidity on the bid and on the offer. Okay, this is how stocks can actually be a little bit simpler to look at and understand. Just really, really high areas of liquidity in here. Okay, so again, high liquidity here in Nvidia. Look at the selling with not high liquidity in here. So like sellers aren't able to take it lower. Look at the buyers starting to come in here. So now let's see if we can get the buyers take it up to the swing up here at 439, and then maybe we can get up to 440 at this point. There they go. Beautiful. Okay, so this example worked out a lot better, but it's by understanding this context right in here. And this is what we want to know. Okay, and we're only looking for it to go up to the swing first. Okay, and that would be here at 39. Next area of liquidity is at 39.50, and then 440. Okay, looks pretty good. Well, buyers should be able to reach 440. Yeah. Okay. Now again, have to be pretty quick on that. On both of these, you can see it's pretty exponential move in here, right? Okay, but we noted it in here. High liquidity, starting to bounce around in here. Not high liquidity, and sellers can't take it lower into this area here. We look for the buyers to curl back in above this area right in here. Okay, we talked about this the other day in terms of like a wedge pattern. I think this was on Friday, or maybe, yeah, I think it was Friday. Here's your ascending wedge. Okay, and here's your trap volume here below. Well, yeah, a little bit below, not much, but this is where it broke. Okay, and this is where we note that the buyers are starting to come in. Okay, this is your trap here at that point. Okay, now we're looking for the buyers to take it, and we're only looking for them to take it to here, the swing. Okay, and it might even be this swing here to begin with, to be honest, and then at 38.40, and then it might bounce around again. Okay, so how you want to manage that risk and understand it is up to you. But one thing that you do know is the context. Again, if you get large green dots like this, it's likely to go to the next swing. All right, and if you still get them, it's likely to go to the next areas of high liquidity. Okay, and that's what it's done. Okay, so let me see who was asking about that. I guess Gawker. I hope that helped. Again, just understanding this context in here, and can you see that context? Can you see that? I mean, maybe these are right in the way here, but it's right there. I mean, look at the size of the dots. That's why we're looking for it to come up to the swing, and then potentially through it. Okay, any questions? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Look for these things. This is where Bookmap can just it can totally help you here, right? And give you this insight in here. So here again, it's the same setup basically. It's kind of another broken wedge, but this is also kind of turning into a flag pattern in here now. Okay, with here, I want to cover this with the moves, and understanding these moves in here. In fact, let me cancel all these drawings, and then start to look at and understand some of these moves, okay, and why they unfold. Okay, understanding market breadth in here is rather critical. Okay, so yeah, this is where you can start to manage your trade. Now, why would you manage your trade this way, based off of measured moves in here? Anyone have any ideas? Okay, obviously there's more buying pressure in here, so the management would be probably to front run this high liquidity here. If you see the sellers come in and it can't make a higher high in here, then you dump it. Okay, so I would dump it here, or I would dump it up in here and take my profit up here. Okay, on this move only, right? I have my reasons for it. The reason here is market breadth. There's how much, buying and selling pressure do we have during this time of day? And that's what we're looking at in here. There are many reasons for the measured moves and why they work with stops and all sorts of things. It has nothing to do with fibs, but it has to do with the ranges in here as well. Okay? You do see it either kind of a half or 100% move, measured move, a lot. Yeah, I'm just not a fib fan whatsoever. Oh, I think it's a beautiful idea and concept. I just don't think it works in the markets. Okay, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who would come in and say, like, I've been using it for years and been profitable for years. Great. Match it up with liquidity is the only thing I would say. Match it up. Does this fib level? Is this a fib level up here? Well, you've got almost 20,000 shares up there, a $442 stock. Great. Match it up. All right. So yeah. So yeah, I would have been out here, as you guys can see. That would have been it. Take my profit on this one. Okay. I would have taken my partial profit here to begin with, and then on this move in here, when you start to see this start to unfold again, and you're looking for a measured move like this flag pattern in here, okay, which it is. All right. Look at the volume in here. Let's look at see this volume here on the sell side, see this volume in here on the sell side. Okay, it's low volume. Look at the high volume come in again here. Okay, look at the high volume down here starting to come in. So you can put this all together into a cohesive setup plan for yourself. Okay, so if you take anything away from this webinar, the best thing to take away would be to understand this concept of what to look for. And then go and find yourself as many examples of this as you can. And how would you manage your risk in those examples? That's how you can start to build a trading plan. So you should record it. It should be recorded in a spreadsheet. How many points did it go against me? How did it go? How many did it go for me? Did it match liquidity? Where would I take my profits? When would I get in? When would I get out? How much am I going to risk? And then look for it again and again and again. A lot of traders just don't, they just won't do that work. Okay? And now it's moving up and through it. That's fine. You know, this is where we were looking for it to work here at this point, and it didn't. And this is where you take your profit. You can look for another setup in here, and in fact, it's kind of doing it. Very much so. Okay, here they come in again. Well, here it's a little tricky in here, to be honest. Looks like it's going to do it here. Didn't, and then it looks like it's going to do it here, and it did. All right, now what happened in here though? Now we get 100% retracement of where it broke out from here. All right, this is where the another flag pattern would fail, and you'd have your stop at break even here, and you'd get out. Right? It didn't work. So this little continuation pattern in here is done. Right? This one worked out, this one didn't, but you assessed the risk and you got out. Okay, so maybe you took partial profit along the way. I don't know. I probably wouldn't have, even though I see high liquidity here. I know it traded through it, so I'm still looking for 43 at this point, based off the strength in this volume in here. It didn't work, but you know, control the risk. All right, so this would go into your study as well. So now you've got 3 different examples in here, and you're off to creating a setup for yourself. Let's see here. Didn't matter. Oh, you're doing some really nice work too now. It's just looking great. Slow down. You're influencing everybody. Just beautiful stuff. I mean, look how good this content is starting to look. Way to go. Didn't matter. Buying ice. You're identifying icebergs. Again, identifying specific players in here, right? Iceberg orders are used by larger players. They don't want to put 362 contracts, which was fully executed here. Fully executed. That's what the little E is right here. Okay. They don't want to put that in the order book because they don't want to scare the market away. They want to get filled. They use an iceberg order. Okay. Look at the liquidity supporting this move higher, and then higher prices being accepted. The VOP shift. Okay, that's good. Okay, you look at your volume profiles and your shifts in here, and then yeah. So this is where it starts, identifying these things in the order flow. Now you can start to look at identifying where you might get in and where you might get out, and then study these examples again and again and again. It's as simple as that. It really is. And then you become an expert. So good stuff. And let's see here. Slowdown has his image, 2 examples. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, I love this. Always reminder in here as well with your diagram. Yep. So did you grab this one? Lack of buyers. Okay, so you missed this one. Yeah, I got caught up in it, looking because of this up here. We went through it, and this was pretty strong volume in here, and I was looking for it, and I was looking for the move, you know, and looking for the order book to support it, and we did get that order book support. It was gamed though. It was gamed by that larger player, and that was you know, kind of tricky. But we saw it in Bookmap, and then we're like, okay, all right, this is not working out, but this one is more likely to work out and hit 90 and 92, and that's what it did. Okay, so and that was the agility in here, which is hard thing to do. So and don't worry about it. Like, just, you know, take the small loss and then look at it again next time. if you didn't get it. And I'm not talking to you slow down directly whatsoever. I'm talking to everybody here because it's a hard thing to do. Is that kind of mental agility. I would suggest what would help on that, or helps me a lot, is it has to look clear, right? And just take the small loss, get it out of your system. This is something that Jay Trader, he'll be on tomorrow at this time. He will go through, once you get that out of your mind, you're back to trading again. Okay, you're back to looking for your setup. Okay, you don't have a bias now. You're just looking for your setup. All right, so that's the beauty of it here. Because I learned this from a bank trader who asked, when are you the best trader? And I go, oh, it was when I look for my setup. And no, when you don't have a position on. Okay, because you don't have any sort of like money bias or anything like that. You're not emotionally kind of trapped up in it. Okay, because we don't talk about trader psychology much in here, but this is a big point. I think is, well, it goes back to what I had mentioned about trader psychology, but the emotions that once you have the position on, is hard to kind of shake that. Okay, and that's why taking a small loss or a small gainer is fine. And then come back and look at it. Okay, or clear that emotion by managing the trade. It's as simple as that. So just manage the trade. If this isn't working the way it should, get out. Okay, so this would have been a small loss in here, or I would have had a small loss in here, and then I would have liked to have said I'd see the opposite in here, and I'm looking for it to go the other way. All right, that's another thing I learned from another professional trader who mentioned a lot of the market maker, well, not necessarily, it was floor traders. All day long, what they do is they just buy at the highs of the range, or sell at the highs of the range, and buy at the low. That's all they're doing, and they're just making money all day long. And then they get trapped and caught up in some of these moves in here, and they lose everything, and then some. So a lot of them, what they'll do is, suppose that they sold up in here, maybe took some profit down here, and then maybe they sold up here again, and they're just gonna get their head ripped off here. So once they start to see that momentum come in, not only will they buy it back here, they will buy back double. Okay, so they'll hit the reverse button, and then they'll put in the double of the amount as well to make up for that loss, and try to grab the momentum. Okay, talk about a mental shift in agility there. And these are professional, floor traders though, and this is what they're doing. And very good ones as well, because they can capture this all day long, and then they get it wrong, they can double it and look for the move. It's kind of tricky in here. I don't know how they handle some of this kind of stuff. Like, oh, I got it wrong. Oh, I got it wrong again, right? So they're getting really chopped up in here. One of the ways to get away from that is by really looking at and studying your specific setup, what it is exactly you're looking for. Okay, and when you see that, then you take it. If you don't see that, you do not take it, right? Okay, there's our move up into 42. Oh, we saw that earlier, I think. Yeah, we did. We're looking for 43. It's the next level. 45 is the next level up there. All right, let's jump back to the ES. Enough said, guys, but I do want to go through that. We want to go through the understanding these setups and looking for your specific setup, and if it doesn't work, how you're going to react. have a plan, and then follow it. Okay, Rod, so you're looking for 44.22. All right, well, let's take a look at it. What do we see? Yeah, I mean, still buyers in control. And I don't know about 22, way up here. But yeah, buyers are still in control, still moving this market. Okay, so we're up at top of the range in here. Now, do we have enough to break this range? No, not yet. To 44.22. I don't know why you think that. Maybe the swing up here. Yeah, we actually talked about this here yesterday. As well, you can see it a little bit better on the hourly here, but maybe I can put a little more data in here as well. Yeah, it's better. Okay, you see the same. This is the same exact move that we've been just talking about. It's just a higher time frame. Okay, here's your trap down here. Here's your move away. Here's your pullback. Okay, are we going to get the next move up higher? Okay, who's in control in this hourly chart, even on this daily chart, in this small time frame in here? Well, let's just say this small time frame in here. Okay, the buyers are in control. All right, so we're looking for them to try to break this area up here first, and that's a big if. Okay, there's a lot of selling pressure up in here around this 15 level. All right, but if we get enough buyers in here, then we'd be looking for that move. This is again what we talked about like yesterday about these measured moves in here. Like we talked about yesterday. It made it up to about 10 when we left the webinar, I think. And we noted that while this is already done its move for the day, basically. Look at this move in here, pretty strong on the buy side on the daily candle. Right. Well, what's your average daily candle range? And we're not looking for it to do something else unless there's some other kind of force on the market, which didn't unfold yesterday. So we're back in that range again, and we want to see if we can break that range here. And right now we're just looking for this gap fill. And let's see if we can get it. Actually, this 15-minute chart is, we see the wicks up here, but this is our third attempt now up here. Okay, by buying pressure. Right, so I like this idea. See if we can get our break. Okay, and if we do, what we're looking for is, well, the figure, and then 05, and then 12 up in here, which we were calling 15 earlier. But let's look for 12. So, Rod, again, like I appreciate it. You're putting in there where you think price is going to go, but why? Do you have a setup? Do you have something that you studied and you have numbers behind it that gives you insight that this is more likely to happen? Okay, and then let's just go through an example here in the order flow, right, of what we're looking for, and we'll use a much smaller time frame in here to do the same thing. Okay, well, high liquidity up in here, up around 98 to 4400, high liquidity down here around 90, and it's been back and forth within that range. Okay, buyers are still in control in the bigger picture, and we see this heavy buying up in here, but we've come back into the range. Now we made an equal low here, and we're starting to see some buying come back in. Okay, well, I'm not looking for much right now in terms of order flow. It's looking like some back and forth in here to me. Okay, once we have something more to chew on, then we will look for a move to start to take place. Okay, and we know that that can happen pretty much any time. All right, so who do we have on our side here? Well, we know the bigger picture is buyers. Okay, what about all this selling in here? Well, we just come down here to 43.90. That's it. Okay, but we're leaning on, we're looking for those buyers that are still in control to just take control, and they're not, right? So we're doing nothing. Okay, and then here, this confirms that idea. See where the sellers came in on this time frame here? Well, that's where we've retested so far. Okay, where do the buyers come in? Well, here. Okay, so we would anticipate something to happen down here at this range. Okay, so let's zoom in and let's see what happens here, and let's try to get something from this. Okay, not too much selling in here, more buying. I'm looking to see if we can actually get these buyers maybe upside down and have to cover. So I'm looking for a sell dot here around 92 and then move into 90. Okay, now what do we have on our side? Well, not much really. We want that order book on our side. We do not have it. I want to see this liquidity pulled in here. I see some pulled in here, but see how they're still here. I don't see anything on the offer in here. Okay, so we're not getting much in here for that to unfold right now. Okay, so that doesn't make it high probability. Therefore, we don't lean on it. We want that on our side. Once we get that on our side, then it is more likely to unfold. Okay, then we would call and look for 90 to transact, but only then. Okay, see the opposite starting to unfold. See how they're pulling up here? They're adding on the offer here, bid here, and we're getting aggressive buyers starting to come in. So we're looking for something to happen down here, and we're seeing the kind of a nascent move by the buyers at this time. Yeah, I just see this still as range bound. Okay, we have the potential to break it here. And let's see if we get our buyers here. Order book is bidding, but down here though, don't like it. If we get a little bit more, see how they're on the offer here. On the offer here. Okay, now we got a little more context. The buyers took them on, traded into it. Okay, icebergs. So anyway, the point is here, we want reasons behind why we think a move is going to unfold. All right, Rob, I'm not trying to use you as an example, but I just want to make that point. We've been covering it many times over. Okay, and when we get all of this trader behavior on our side, it is more likely that we will get the move to unfold. Okay, we are above that selling in here, right? That's a good thing. See how we can see that here. See where the sellers came in here. Okay, and see how there's buying above it now. And most of the buying was in here. Hey guys, well, I also want to cover something in here. We showed yesterday Market Pulse, and or the new Market Pulse algo with the volume pressure, being able to look at multiple markets within one instrument. Let me show that again. Okay, this is I think a great tool in here. Here come the buyers now. Yeah, I would have I didn't have enough in the order flow in here for this to unfold. I didn't have enough in here either. It's not, I mean, you can see it starting to pick up in here, but I do not have the trap in here. I'm not looking for it, right? We know buyers are in control in the bigger time frame, and we know that the buyers took control or had the potential to take control above this 95 area that we identified earlier on. Okay, and they're up here, and they're still buying, right? So yeah, we're still looking for the move higher here, but there just wasn't enough in here on our side. Okay, so this is a pass for me. Okay, I mean, you can see the break, and you can see the volume in here. Okay, not enough volume above the swing on for me to look for that move to unfold. It's looking better up in here now. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it's starting to look much better up in here. But the question is, do you want to buy it up in here? And that's going to be a beautiful stop run. Okay, so we're up at 02. And into these wicks up in here, we're still looking for 05 as the gap fill and or point of control from yesterday. High volume node from yesterday. Probably around here, around 06, 07, 5, something like that. Okay, so it makes sense. Like up in those wicks in here, and look at how we've just immediately found some sellers in here after a big stop run, right? And we didn't have much conviction in this move here to begin with. Okay, what we did have was the bigger picture volume on our side. Oh, okay. Eloise, gap fill to the tick at 2.5. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, the all of the Market Pulse algos are still part of the MBO bundle. Alec, let me show it to you guys. I really like. I actually had mentioned this to Scott, and then Scott's like, "Oh yeah, I'll use that. That's a great idea." We have volume pressure in here for multiple instruments. Okay, so why isn't this actually showing up? Oh, because I closed some of the instruments. Okay. Got YM, I've got Russell. Should be able to work. Do I have it open someplace? I might. No. Okay. Let's try it again. Let's get rid of that one. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, that might have been a bug there. So all right, so now I've got volume pressure here for multiple markets within one widget here from Market Pulse. And this is a great tool in here to understand. Okay, so we're looking for the YM, the ES, the Russell, the NASDAQ, all four. If you guys are interested in this, like, let me show you this this tool. I'm going to brief you on it because we don't have enough time to go through them all in here. But this is a really great new feature in here because now you can look at the volume pressure of all of these. Look at this, like millions of transactions in here. You can look at just one widget let's, for example, you can put together another one for stocks for like these three stocks, or maybe you're looking at your FANG stocks. The same idea in here. In fact, let's do that. I'm going to close this one and let's look at NASDAQ. All right, and then let's add another one here for FANG stocks. Okay, now I don't have all the FANG stocks open. Let's see, I need to put in Facebook, right? So let's do that though. Where is it? It's FB, right? Why isn't it showing up? Okay, let's just try Facebook. All right, I'll just try subscribing. That should just do it. Okay, so we got Apple, we got Nvidia, and we should have Google up here. And Amazon probably. I don't know if it's FANG or if it's oh, Meta, that's right. Yeah, geez. Sorry, guys. It's been a while since I looked at it. So it's not truly FANG anymore. Okay, and Google. Let's add it. Okay, which is Alphabet, right? But I think it's under Goog. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now let's add a Market Pulse in here. Let's get rid of. Let's keep that one. We'll create a new one, and we're going to look at volume pressure. Okay, and we're going to look at the. Come on now. Why is it just showing the features? Not want to look at the features. Huh. All right, let's just get rid of it. Let's create a new one. Volume pressure. Okay. That's weird. Price change. How about price change? Okay, so now, no. Okay. Try something else in here. Market Pulse. I'm sorry, guys. It looks like, yeah, I'll get back to you on this. I don't know why it's not allowed for it. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, you get the idea what we're talking about. We can go back and still show it for the ES in here. Okay, so here's our gap fill now. We've come up to 05 or so. Yeah, just about filled it. Anyway, looking for some sellers right now. Try to pull this right back down to about 96. You know, this was the heavy buying in here, heavy stop run as well. We're looking for some profit takers after the gap fill. And we're looking to see if they can just retest some of these areas where that buying came back in, and that are stop runs as well. All right, so just looking for a quick move on that. Not much. Anyway, I want to show you this. At least we can show the market pulse for all of these instruments here, and we'll just get rid of this one. I want to show you the other algos though. Okay, so what we have in here is we have the absorption indicator that you guys are well aware of. It's part of the Global Plus package. Well, now you get the absorption pressure and pressure imbalance for market pulse, right? So you also get, well, we have liquidation pressure. Now this is for the crypto markets. We have price change, which is a free one that everyone has access to. We have spread change. These are new here, support and resistance. Okay, so we're looking for order book imbalances in here from support and resistance imbalance. We also have sweeps and sweeps pressure and sweeps pressure imbalance. And these we've had already for quite a while. One of the first ones, volume pressure and volume pressure imbalance. So this is going to be great here. We'll demo it on Friday in more detail. I can quickly show you a few of these in here. Should have access to be able to show them. Yes. Yeah. So see how even support and resistance in here, I can put in multiple instruments, just like we were doing earlier. Okay, so in fact, let's do that for ES and NQ, and we'll take gold off, right? And then we'll press play. So support and resistance is what we're talking about in here. Is the order book, okay? And that's what we're calling support and resistance in here. And we're looking for imbalances in this order book. So we have already down here a lot of support down here. Okay, also a lot of resistance up in these areas in here. Okay, so waiting for this to load here, but we're going to get a signal, or hear the market when it starts to. We have imbalances in that order book based on a look back period. Okay, the look back period in here for these two instruments is going to be 5 minutes. This is by default. And then we have a kind of a pullback period in here, which is about the half-life and half-life interval in here. Yeah, let me just turn the volume a bit down. And then this is our threshold in here. That's it. So we can bring down the threshold and click apply. And it is still loading. It's almost there though, I think. Give it a minute. All right, so yeah, it's already starting to hit it here. It's a different output here actually graphically. So see, it's a negative number in here. Okay, the volume pressure, you don't get a negative number. Okay, it's a positive number down here on the buy side. It is this liquidity that is reacting to, and it's pulling. This is pulled liquidity, and see how it's darker red here. Okay, so we have an imbalance here. Do we get our aggressors in here? Yeah. All right, well then aggressors should be able to carry it now up to here. okay, because we have the order book imbalance, and now we're looking for volume pressure to come in and take this, okay, and take this market up to maybe this 02 3/4. Okay, see how they're still pulling here and adding on the bid. Okay, look at that. This is a really, really great tool. I know you guys in YouTube can hear this. Okay, so, but when you have this, remember how we were talking about earlier, we want this order book on our side. Well, now it's even going to be easier. We're going to be able to hear it. There we go. Okay, so there's our move. Okay, now we didn't have much volume pressure on that, right? We didn't hear it from across the board here, but we certainly had the order book imbalance in here. Okay, and they're pulling. They're pulling. See the negative number here. Now they're starting. Look at the darker green now here. They're starting to pull on the bid side as well. Okay, so you get two different colors. If the number is negative, see the number is positive now here. See that they're adding on the offer, and it's this bright red color. Okay, now it was a bright green color. Now it's a dark green color because it's a negative number. They are pulling liquidity. Okay, that's the output here, and that's how to read this in here. Okay, so question is, when you start to hear some of these things in here, in fact, we're going to have to up the setting here, the threshold. That'll help. All right, so when we get some sort of more extreme reading in here, then we're looking for the aggressor's activity. It's really great, Malik. You're going to love this. So let me throw this out to you. So this is the volume pressure. I'm sorry, this is the support and resistance. Okay, it might be renamed something else in the near future because its support and resistance is a little bit not quite right. But we'll find out what it is. We may or may not. I don't know. And now look at this high liquidity coming in at 02.5. Okay, now why don't we see it in here? Well, this is also for the NASDAQ. So let's jump over to the NASDAQ. See how we don't see it here on the NASDAQ, right? So that's the way this is working here. Now we're starting to see it come up a little bit more. So it's probably coming in on the NASDAQ as well, right? So we have a confluence then, or correlation. Okay, now look at this. We traded into and through it, and we're getting aggressors. Okay, across all four indexes here. Now sellers are starting to come in too, though. All right, so this is maybe not the greatest look for this 05 to retest here right now. Okay, because I see a lot of selling coming in here too by the aggressors. Okay, now look at the imbalance here. So we have an order book imbalance across these two instruments. And we also have the seller starting to come in a bit. Okay, well, we traded to the bottom of the range. Okay, now we're back at the top of the range, pulling liquidity here, adding on the bid. Do we hear the aggressors though? Not quite yet. So this is, again, back and forth in here. Has the potential to come up to 05 now. There we go. All right, looking for it. I mean, it's a little late, but we can home in on this and get in there a little bit earlier as well. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, this is going to be such an edge for us to be able to hear this across multiple markets in here. Okay, so this is exactly what we're looking for in our setups in here on one market, but now we're going to be able to hear it across multiple markets. We really got something in here. All right, if you guys are interested in this, we will be releasing it in beta soon. Let me show you how you can sign up for it. It is actually going to be through the Bookmap Academy. You guys will get, here, let's just go to this here. And the Bookmap Academy is, there is no link to it. You just need to know the link. I'll put it into the chat for you guys. Okay, there we go. All right, thanks, Dan. So the Bookmap Academy, this is the programming here. Read through it. Basically, you're going to document your trades, just like some of the trades I went through earlier and we covered, like with slowdown, with didn't matter. We do it with Stan. We do it with many of the other traders in here, and Steven was another one. So we do those in meetings, but what you're going to get is also, you can see here, part of the plan is access to pre-release products and add-ons. Okay, this is going to be free access. So if you're interested in this, in the beta version, and some, playing around with some of these and creating some content from it, then join through this page here. All right. So just scroll down. You can input your name, and we need to also get your Discord name in here, your email and your name and Discord name. All right. Once you put in those, then you'll get an email that will shuttle you to, or tell you to go to our Discord channel. It will be here in our Discord channel under Academy Applicants here. Okay. We need to capture you in Discord. So you need to come in here and then request your spreadsheet for documenting your trades. Okay. And we will give you access to the beta when it is released. It should be released probably by the end of the week or maybe early next week. All right. This is an edge because you'll be able to play around with some of these tools before anyone else gets their hands on them. All right. So yeah, good stuff in here. Now we've gone through 2 of them. We'll go through the other ones as well. All right, they're pretty simple and straightforward. You guys already know what the absorption and sweeps indicator is. It will be in this format now too. Okay. In fact, I had other professional traders asking for this with the absorption. All right, so I got to reach out to some of those guys. Anyway, that's what we have here, guys. And here's continuation of the move, pulling of the book, aggressors coming in, looking for the continuation of the move here. All right, now we're getting up into those wicks. Again, I'm gonna leave it at this here, guys. If you like this kind of education, please hit the like button. This is what gives us insight to do more of this kind of education for you. So anyway, bigger time frame, higher time frame. We're getting up into these wicks in here. All right. So looking for something to happen up here now. Okay, you can see it better on the hourly chart. We may get this flag pattern that we're looking for on a higher time frame, right? We have, look at this massive wick here, right? Now, we might not get it today. Okay, we might just get it coming up into and hacking around up in here all day, kind of like it did yesterday. Okay, so this flag pattern, just, if this is going to work out, this is where we're looking for it to continue. Okay, up in here, we need to get a breakout of this area. Now, we don't cover this in the on the higher time frames in here, but you can look at this same exact pattern in here on the higher time frame that we just covered on the lower time frame. So do you get strong volume in these areas in here? Not a whole lot, actually, in here. A little bit in here. Do we get some of it in today? Yeah, it's starting to pick up in here, right? So on this hourly in here. Okay, so we know that. So on your higher time frame, once the market starts to kind of curl around and you see those buyers come back in up in here, for your flag pattern on your higher time frame, you would be holding here. Maybe you'd be taking some off at the top of the range, maybe not. Maybe you're looking for your measured move up into some place up here. Let's do that. Let's take a quick look at this here, okay? Because I just want to go over these fractal natures of the market in here. and this is what you're looking for. All right, so we have well, basically it's hold on a minute here. Okay, so our measured move in here, let's just go with this one here. Can I do this? Can I move this guy? I don't know if I can. All right, that's not fun. Well, anyway, you guys get the idea. It's going to be something like this, right? So where's it going to go, right? So if this is the case down in here, you know, it coming up into these areas up in here is pretty good. Okay, if this is going to play out, right? So basically around 4,500 is what we're looking for. That's a 100-point S&P move. This is the same pattern that we're covering earlier. Okay, multiple times in here, right? So keep it in mind, and that's the bigger picture approach here. So anyway, let's leave it at that, and let's see what happens and unfolds by Friday. That's when we'll come back on next at this time, 10 a.m. We'll see you guys then. Yeah, take care, and hit the like button if you can, and sign up for that Bookmap Academy if you want to get that free access to the Market Pulse. All right, so we need to capture your email and your Discord, and partake in the or apply for that Bookmap Junior Academy. If your content is good, we can bump you up into the Junior Academy. If it's good there, you can go into the Academy and get Bookmap for free. Okay, just go through that page. All the details are in there. All right. Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for coming, and we will catch up with you on next Friday. Tomorrow we have JTrader, and then the next day we have Scott Bolsini. And yeah, we'll see you then. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye bye.